Hi guys, welcome back. This is Matt Chat episode 575, featuring an interview with Dave Lloyd, the developer behind the point-and-click adventure games The Drifter, as well as Telwynium, a new project he's working on. And these are really great point-and-click adventure games, a genre I'm convinced is in something of a renaissance right now, and thanks in no small part to great talents like Dave. Now Dave, in this interview we talk about the games he's been working on, the Drifter of course, and Telwynium, but also just the genre itself, what it takes to make a great adventure game, why this genre is experiencing something of a comeback, and much, much more. I think you'll find it really fascinating. So, without further ado, here is Mr. Dave Lloyd.
But is it recording? And is Dave going to speak, or is he going to remain muted for the duration of the Zoom chat?
There we go.
Much better, much better, much better. I often find it difficult to interview somebody when they're muted, you know.
Yeah, makes it a bit of a challenge.
The lip, people can just read lips, right? I could probably.
Hold on, I'm going to set up my headphones aren't working that well. I'll switch to this one. Just give me a sec.
No headphones. Well, while you're doing that, I think I will pop open a can. Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. That's better. Cool.
You have Dr. Pepper in Australia?
Yeah, we have Dr. Pepper. Yeah.
Oh, thank God for that.
Except I think we don't have the corn syrup one. We've got it'd be sugar cane. So it'd be different, very different.
Oh, sugar cane.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, that must probably better. What does this have in it? Oh, high fructose corn syrup.
Yep.
But you guys a pretty good beer there too. Are you a beer drinker, or are you a...
Yeah, like kind of craft beer, small brewery stuff.
Good. Wow, what's some good ones? Way too many.
Yeah. I don't really have a go-to. It's just like, what if it's something new, I'll try it. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, hey, Dave, I'm glad you were able to make it because, man, you've been busy. You've got some incredible stuff to talk about here.
Yeah.
It's been a busy week. I'm playing this. Let's see if I can share the screen. Yeah, I've been playing this. I played the Telwynium demo.
Yeah, awesome.
And that was, it's definitely awesome. Loved it. And then I was like, well, okay, that's just the first bit. It kind of leaves you hanging, So I'm like, let me see what else.
That's right.
Let me check out this other game you did. And holy cow, man. This one is freaking awesome.
Yeah. That was my big project.
I'm just trying to tell everybody, hey, you got to play this. You got to play this. I mean, you freaking nailed it, bud.
Yeah, that one was a big long slog, and the Telwynium's always been like, I'll take a few weeks or to do a game jam and do another Telwynium, and that's been my kind of cozy side project while I'm doing the big, complicated, difficult one. But now that's done. Telwynium's gets to be like my focus.
Which one you want to talk about first?
No, it's up to you, really. I'm sort of jumping. I'm still jumping between them because I just released Drifter on Switch, what day is it today? On Monday. Yeah. So that's all. They're both kind of fresh. Yeah.
I know you. I think I heard you say you're a big fan of this game here. I think I heard you.
Oh yes.
Space Quest for those who might not be watching. But different. I didn't get much of a Space Quest vibe from the Drifter. I don't know. Maybe I missed something.
No.
It's feeling more like you ever play Beneath the Still Sky? Or I was kind of getting a little bit of that.
I love Beneath the Still Sky. Yeah.
Oh, that's an excellent game.
Yeah, the Drifter is sort of trying not to be as much of a throwback, I guess, and seeing like what I can kind of modernize a bit, but while still being a traditional point and click. But
Telwynium. You ever play those Telltale games?
Hmm.
Like yeah, those are good games.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, one thing I liked about those, it's kind of the same thing that you do. It's just there's never a dull moment. You know, it's just like, whoa,
Hmm.
okay, did
Yeah.
this stuff, and now this whole other thing opens up, and you're like, oh my God, and oh my God, then this your son is back. He's a ghost. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
guess I have to watch the spoiler alerts and stuff.
Or is
Oh,
he?
like
Or is he?
everything. It's just like whenever I think I'm
Yeah,
starting to
yeah.
get a handle on it, oh, like this whole new thing,
Yeah, I
incredible
always liked
tension.
keeping people, keeping people surprised, I guess. And but the Telwynium, I ended up doing that as well, because I think I just when I'm sort of doing the story stuff, and I'm like, well, this is kind of the obvious thing that would happen, but like maybe I can think of something, but people to make people go what, and I always like doing that, like taking like say the three. Oh man, the three quests in in Monkey Island that you have to get to become a pirate, and then you never get to the end of the third one. You know, it always like before that happens, like LeChuck comes, and it's that kind of thing where you don't sort of tell players like, okay, this is the thing you're going to be doing next, and then let that actually happen. You got to like throw a monkey wrench in the in the works, you know.
Yeah, this was particularly clever the way you handled death. And you probably read Ron Gilbert's famous essay about the was it why adventure
Hmm.
games suck.
Yeah.
Not the most tactful guy, I guess, but
No, no,
that
no.
was uh I often thought about that because I grew up playing like the King's Quest stuff. And, it was
Me too. Yeah.
you get into Monkey Island and I have to say I really preferred that once I got kind of used to the Lucasfilm adventure game.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But it doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong with dying. I think like dying in Space Quest
oh,
is like the biggest part of like the most fun part of the game for me. Because they're so fun to find. It's almost like you're collecting all these deaths.
well, that's what I was going to say.
um,
That's so clever about the Drifter is, well, if you're worried about spoilers, folks, just go play the games and come back. Okay, but the way
well,
that,
the death thing is like pretty much in the demo, so
yeah,
yeah,
because
it's in the
like you
trailers and
say,
everything.
the one thing that's missing from like the monkey, if you take away the deaths, then you miss out on that opportunity for like the humor and just the fun of trying to find a stupid way to die. So you've kind of got a story based way to do that, where if you can die, but it's not game over.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I
for
thought
sure.
that you got to reload.
Yeah, and I think like because dying. I guess since the Sierra ones, it's become for me, it's become more about the storytelling as well, and that's mainly about the characters like feeling real and like the puzzles and things feeling like they're things that that character could conceivably be doing if it was a real world within reason. And so yeah, having it throw up a like restore, restart, quit message with Roberta Williams telling you off or whatever, then that kind of takes you out of the game. And suddenly you're just like very aware, okay, I'm playing a video game. And so partly for the immersion kind of thing, I didn't want to do that. And so then the idea of having it be kind of actually part of the story and the character remembers that he's died and gone back, kind of, that came out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty clever. Kind of, you ever play a Planescape Torment with
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah, it was
Playing Saints
famous
also.
for like a unique way to handle death.
Yeah. It's such a
It's
weird,
one of those
crazy
mechanics, just
game.
endlessly fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the sort of mind blowing the sort of body horror stuff that it's got in there. That's just like you sort of reach inside your body and get some weird ring that's just that some doctors told you is sort of buried in there, and you're like, oh, I don't wonder how that got in there. So much weird stuff in that game.
Yeah, let's get the game back up here so we could talk a little bit more about the Drifter, I think, because
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, just tell me how you this was part of the game jam or am I hearing that
No, well, it
right?
started with a game jam. So yeah, for we did this thing called Adventure Jam, which had been going for a few years before that, and went for a number of years after that as well. I think they haven't done the last couple of years, unfortunately. But that was yeah, like I'd done adventure games since like the early 2000s, but they'd always been like really silly, goofy things. And to get the sort of co-founder of Powerhoof, sort of a little indie company, excited about doing a point and click. I was like, oh, I'll do like thrillery horror vibes, and then you can draw lots of kind of creepy stuff, and I knew he'd like that. And so that was So then I was like, okay, I've got to write a little scary story kind of thing, and sort of don't. We've only got a week to do it, so I'll start it with like all the stakes being really high and having it be really fast paced, and that kind of meant that it kind of naturally ended up having that kind of pace that the Drifter ends up having, where it's sort of like a fast paced take on the kind of traditional point and click. Um, Lots of like madcap fast stuff happening, and like you go to do something and something happens, and that kind of thing. And it had all the like first person present tense kind of narration and things like that in there as well that the Drifter ended up having. Yeah, and it was just like that game jam. It was called Peridium. That game we did, just a half hour kind of little game, but
But on
but got
Steam, or
a
where can I
great
find it?
reception. Yeah, it's on our itch page. Yeah, we've got a really good reception for that, and it was amazing watching players play it, uh, like on YouTube and stuff, and sort of seeing them panic when in certain scenes. When I'm like, it's just a point and click adventure. You can't die. Like, there's no way to fail. Really, there's no fail state.
Hey,
It's not like
Dave,
you're
what's the
fighting a
name of
big
that? What's the
boss
name of the game
in Dark
again?
Souls.
Sorry, what's the name of your game again?
Peridium, Peridium.
Okay, because I put in Perineum itch, and that was a totally random thing. Okay, so what?
Yeah.
Perineum. Okay, here we go. You
So
haven't
yeah, that if you
heard
play
about
that,
this?
there's a lot of DNA that ended up in the Drifter because that was sort of my that's
Okay, okay.
like I was so happy with how that went. I was like, okay, I got to do a bigger point and click that's that style. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Mycologist, that's like a mushroom guy, right?
yeah. There's a lot of looking up like glossary of like mycologist sort of terms and stuff like
Oh, is
mushroom
this kind of
terms.
like it's like
Well,
a
because I wrote it all in
thing?
a day. So. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, there'll be some crazy mushroom thing going on, like sort of toxins or something. Well, it's meant to keep you guessing. Like, is the character going crazy, or is there actually like scary zombie kind of mutant guys trying to kill you?
Is this
So it was a
based
bit of
on
like
inspired by
psychological horror.
the thing at all?
Yeah, and the thing was, that was an inspiration, but I actually hadn't watched it for a few years, and I didn't realize how close I got it to, because it's set in the Antarctic, which is so is the thing. But for some reason in my head, I thought the thing was set in the Arctic, and I was like, oh, I'll do the Antarctic, then it's different. And then I like
Yeah, I
rewatched.
would
I
have
was like,
known
oh,
that
whoops.
either. Arctic, Antarctic, I guess those are separate
I
places,
should have
right?
had more penguins, then I would have known.
So yeah, you've been doing this. You've been kind of in this point and click genre exclusively, or did you kind of bounce around?
No,
I think I heard
no,
you
yeah.
say you worked
So
at EA at some point, right?
yeah. Yeah, started out like my sort of got first, addicted to making games with when I found Adventure Game Studio back in 2002 around then, and made a bunch of little games like silly kind of games with that, and that was when I was like early 20s, like studying computer science. Ended up studying computer science, and then I got a job in Melbourne Games Company, and at that time it was all like we'd get contracts from America to do the game as cheaply as possible, basically. So to be like a movie license tie-in kind of game that they always review badly. They just need one for marketing purposes. Like kind of we
Yeah,
try and spit it out, that kind of thing. And
that
they
kid
weren't
up
good
was
games. And
gotta
we were hired because we were like it was our first job in the industry, so we're happy to get paid nothing, and and we had no experiences, so we didn't know what we were doing. But yeah, that's where I met Barney, who did all the art, or like the art direction for the Drifter and stuff, and our previous games. And also Adrian Vaughan was working there. He did the main characters' voices, and yeah, done heaps of voices for us. And then that company ended up crumbling when there was like a global financial crisis and all the US money dried up. And then from that, there was a lot of indie kind of companies that just sort of started making their own games, and we both got jobs at different uh, different like iPhone kind of mobile companies making mobile games. And at that time, it was just like the first iPhone had come out, and like so it was a very cool creative time.
Oh, sure.
But then we got both our companies separately got bought out by EA and merged together, so we're working together again. But then there was a mandate of just like every game has to be like in-app purchases and like pushing kind of microcurrency
You mean
stuff and just trying
EA
to
took over the studio and it wasn't all
yeah
rain, butterfly.
yeah that whole thing. So
Hey, fuck.
yeah, so it was like it felt like the right time to try and quit and try and like just make games ourselves. That was like 13 years ago or something. Yeah, 13 years ago. Um, and yeah, made a game called Crawl, which is like a very arcadey, like a couch kind of competitive co-op kind of game. And Crawl was, yeah, it did really well for us. Like on Steam eventually, like when we got it there, we ended up it ended up being able to fund like us just keeping to make games ourselves, and we didn't want to grow into a big company. We wanted to just keep
Oh,
being in this space where we get to make games because I'd done the whole like being a lead and stuff thing. Yeah, Crawl's the one. Yeah,
oh, it's a dungeon crawler.
yeah. But it's like a you kind of you play it with friends, and if you kill the hero who's delving through the dungeon, then you get to swap places. And now you're the hero, and you just spawn in as random monsters and traps and stuff. And it's yeah, that's fun. It's a fun
Sounds
time
like fun.
for a bunch of people in the same room together, basically.
Turbocharged role playing.
hmm
That seems
And
like you're.
that was Barney's sort of first time going back to pixel art as well. So he'd been a 3D animator for that time in the industry. But yeah, so yeah, we sort of fell in love with the sort of 2D and pixel art stuff.
Oh,
Back in
I
love
see.
with that
So
stuff.
Barney's the artist, and you must be the coder.
Yeah, for this one for sure. Yeah, and so
Wow.
now we've kind of ended up both because we both went into it knowing like, oh, we could separately make a game ourselves, but let's try doing stuff together. And he was definitely the stronger artist, and I was the stronger programmer. So, but our roles have kind of just diluted to being like whatever we feel like doing now. So yeah, Telwynium, I'm doing the art, which I've been really enjoying, getting an opportunity to do that stuff again. And
Yeah.
Barney's doing his other game called Acid Knife, which is like a psychedelic platformer thing, which is very like a challenge, very
Acid
challenging platformer.
knife.
I struggle to beat the tutorial he's working on at the moment.
Acid knife. Wow. Yeah. So here's Telwynium. Yeah.
Mm,
Somebody on my Discord had posted this item for me to look at, and I'm like, okay,
yeah.
this looks
So it's
pretty
very
cool.
Conquest of Camelot kind of is the and
Yeah.
yeah,
Somebody did ask
Heroes
about
Quest
that.
1. That's the kind of the the big inspiration. And really that was like I've been working on the Drifter, and that game took 6 years. So it was like way too long.
Six
And I
years.
just so like doing another one of these adventure jams, game jams. I was like, I just want to do something that's like purely nostalgia, just like for myself. And so this was like the novels that I was like reading as a teenager, and like the games I was playing as a kid, and like then as a young adult when I was like going back into abandonware and older games and stuff. Um,
Oh, yeah.
and sort of always loved, never stopped loving those games. And so the Drifter, I was like, okay, I've got to try and bring in an audience that doesn't usually play point and clicks, and get them excited to play this. But for Telwynium, I'm just like, no, this is just this is for specifically for people who love those games. It was really fun for me.
People that grew up
I
with
really
using their
enjoyable to
Commodore
work on. Yeah,
64 and their Apple
yeah,
II. A lot of
that's it
these.
for sure.
Cool.
Yeah. So because there is a lot of there's a tendency for point and click developers to lean on the past a bit too much usually. And so I'd always sort of try to avoid that. But for this one, I'm like fully embracing it.
Yeah, I heard watch one of your other interviews, and they were kind of acting like, well, I mean, there's actually commercial interest in point and click adventure games. And
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, it's
definitely got some
always been
stigma.
a lot of fans around the world love those.
Yeah. It's a weird like
I got
it's
like
never
50
seen as the
ones from
cool.
Germany back over there. They never stop making them.
Yeah.
They're just constantly coming out.
That's it. Yeah. It's never seen as the cool indie genre though. Like there's always been like, well, originally it was before there was the term indie, and it was just like, freeware communities, which is where I started. But then when indie became a thing, there's always been people making them, but they've never had that like, oh, this is a cool indie kind of studio making these cool indie games. It's like, oh, they're adventure games. That's a whole separate thing. It's weird when you exhibit the game because it's kind of treated like that by the media, that people that you talk to as well, like press, they're like, oh wow, I didn't think anyone made these anymore. It's like there's heaps of them. It's got this
It's
weird stigma,
strange
but
because I mean,
yeah,
it seems like there's a really warm community of enthusiasts and fellow creators and people that help you out,
definitely.
But
Yeah, it's an awesome community. Yeah,
then
definitely.
that, like, yeah, you get outside that community and they're like, point and click.
Yeah, exactly. That's
What is
it.
that? Isn't it
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a hidden object game or?
No. Yeah, you got some good characters in this one too.
Yeah. So my plan with that is basically I've did three game jams and did the first three books, the first three kind of chapters of it, and then I've got one more to do, and yeah, on Steam packaging it up to be like a sort of one single big game and doing a bit of polish, but yeah, it's kind of I wanted to have yeah. It's kind of like my nice, easy, relaxing project after spending way too long on the
Can't be
Drifter.
that easy. I mean,
Well, not
hey,
yeah.
look at
Well,
this.
it's
I
because
couldn't
it's
do
like
that.
all the decisions in this are like, oh, this would be like I'd enjoy this. It's not like okay, I've got to make sure this is really perfectly polished, and because the budgets are lower, which makes it less stress because it's all just me. I'm not like hiring artists and stuff as much. Like me
Oh,
and then Brandon doing the music, but yeah.
yeah, that must always be stressful when you're dealing with like keeping a studio going and like there's a lot to
Yeah,
show. There's a lot to
yeah.
show.
I mean, once I've spent 3 years on a game and I've got another few, I don't know how many years left, it feels like, okay, I've got to make sure this isn't like bad. Whereas for Telwynium, it's like, it was just a series of game jams and then, me messing around, enjoying myself. Um, it doesn't have to be like the most perfect game in the world because it's just for the people who like that stuff anyway. So that's kind of my approach to it. Not to say that I don't want it to be good, but
Well, it looks
but
pretty polished to
it's
me.
definitely more enjoyable. Yeah.
Makes me wonder, like
I'm
maybe you're a
proud of
bit
it.
of
I'm
a
proud of it.
perfectionist. Do you feel like you might be a
Oh,
bit
definitely. Oh,
perfectionist?
yeah. I think that because I did a lot of them through in game jams, that sort of helps fight that. So you're like, okay, I've only got 2 weeks to do this, so I can't get stuck like obsessing over this tiny detail. So I don't know how I'll go now that I'm not doing it as in a game jam because suddenly I can take the time and go, actually, I'm just going to obsess over this detail for like 5 weeks or whatever, which I shouldn't do and try and keep that kind of game jam sloppy, like quick, like just stick stuff in and like try stuff and see what happens.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the big challenge with from doing a point and click, I guess, or any kind of adventure game is that every sort of puzzle or every interaction, you got to do all this custom work with the animation,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
custom
Yeah,
code.
it's
Role
a
playing game,
different
it says, oh,
style of
here's some
game
more
to
orcs,
make.
fight the orcs. Oh, here comes some kobolds.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
you kind of most games you sort of add a feature and that kind of enhances the whole game. Whereas in an adventure game, you add a feature and it's like that's a thing that happens once when they click that exact item. It's a very different style of making of development. I think but it's enjoyable. Like I've always loved I've always loved making point and clicks. I love make heaps of other styles of game as well, which I also enjoy. But it's a very different feeling making a point and click than a regular game.
it really is.
Sort of you don't think about the mechanics as much. It's like it's more about how you're using those mechanics. Like the mechanics are usually sort of set, but that's just like trying to use the kind of no like the point and click mechanics to, but in a really good way is where the challenge is. Like because you can make puzzles that are not fun at all very easily. So trying to use those same tools to make puzzles and a story which are kind of
Yeah.
fun and compelling. That's what takes, I think. Yeah, I guess experience and having played a lot of adventures games as well. So yep, I hate it when this happens. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, people that play a lot of them, you get these habits. You're like, okay, I'm stuck. I need to try everything on everything. You keep, and talk to people, go back and talk to them again. There's
Yep,
also
look at everything. Okay, there's a hint.
lots of
Yeah.
little things that you learn. But I don't think I had to get help. Did I get to get, I think I did get stuck on the drifter I was supposed to give some coins. So I
Yeah.
borrowed I got the coins to buy the paper. And he
Yep.
says, I'm going to
And then
pay him at
repay the
some
guy.
point. I thought that was just a little
Yeah.
joke in the game. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to come back and repay
That's
him.
a moral test. That's a moral test.
That's a
It's a
moral test.
only the
Oh, I
worthy will
failed the
pass that
moral
puzzle.
test.
Yeah.
Oh, screw that guy. I'm going to take his coins.
Well, that's like the adventure game in you is like, no, they're mine. I got this inventory item. I'm keeping them.
It's in my inventory. Finders, keepers. But yeah, I think these games, the puzzles don't really take you out of the narrative. That's the problem I have with some of these
Yeah.
games. And I mean, you might have a great game, but you get stuck on this, like this puzzle just feels like, why am I
how is this
Mm,
part of the story? And you're like spending
yeah,
hours on this thing, and
yeah, that was
and you
important to
forget
me.
what
Like,
was going on by the time you solve it. And you're
yeah.
going like you managed to avoid that.
Yeah, like I didn't want to. I wanted to still have like combining lots of inventory items in the drifter and stuff, but I definitely didn't want it to feel like the puzzles were just like the designer trying to trick the player and go, "Ha, I got ya. You'll never solve this." It was always meant to be a way to like get the player moving forward through the story themselves and having that agency, but without, yeah, it is such a hard balance because ideally people don't get stuck at all and they're like they have to think, they have to make the decisions themselves and work out like, oh, I've got to use this on this, um, without having to like quit and look up hits or whatever. But yeah, it's a hard balance. Yeah, for sure.
You know what? To me, this genre is the closest to programming.
Hmm.
Because I've done enough programming. I've certainly talked to a lot of programmers, and they talk
Yeah,
about like,
yeah,
they're stuck on a problem. Like I can't get this to work and I want it to do this. And they know they know what needs to happen, right? So they're thinking
mm,
and trying all this stuff. And then finally they have, oh, aha, I've got it. Yay.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
No, true.
that dopamine hit,
I get, yeah, yeah,
It's
definitely.
like that's what you get with a good
I get
adventure.
that from programming too. Yeah,
You
for sure.
get it from
Like,
adventure games too, though, right? Because you're like, okay, I got
yep,
these
this is
objects.
impossible. It can't be done. And then suddenly, like, oh, wait a minute. You
What
know?
if you probably jumped up out of bed at like 2 in the morning,
Yeah.
Whoa, I know how to get the staff.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just love that kind of feeling. That
Yeah, yeah. No, it's good.
I keep looking at this Otar Stronghorn.
Yeah.
What a character. And then you got the
Yeah, yeah.
two-headed
Rathmiri.
person.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the name of?
Yeah, it was fun. Alethi and Drissa. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're spoiling stuff. Another
Yeah,
spoiler.
they end up becoming quite fun as they kind of become a bit comic relief as they go on because they're always fighting with each other,
Oh,
Otar and
so
Drissa.
good the way you revealed this. Again, a little bit of a spoiler, I guess, but now you're thinking, is this character like a villain?
Yeah.
Is she like trying to
Yeah,
kill
yeah.
him?
You gotta
What's
have like
going on
the
here? And then when you
red
finally
herring.
figure out what's really going on, you're like, oh,
Hmm.
that totally makes sense. Oh, so yeah, you put a lot of thought into this stuff, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, I enjoy that stuff for sure.
Yeah,
Keeping it makes it easier to make the
I'm getting
game
my
as well
games
once
confused because
you've got a
I
solid
just was
core
playing
of
the
like.
director.
Oh,
So I'm
sorry,
trying
say
to
that again.
remember the Telwynium, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this one's got the bee puzzle.
Yeah,
There's something in that cavern too, like this is the one where you like sucking up the little spirits,
Magicy. Yeah, yeah, yep.
breaths. Okay, don't ever play two different adventure games right before you talk to somebody. So what? Yeah, what's the goal here with the Telwynium then? So this is going
Yeah,
to
so
book one. This will
yeah,
be an ongoing
the
series.
Drifter came out like almost a year ago, like maybe 11 months ago, and just came out on Switch. So I've been kind of full time, pretty much still working on it the whole time. Just lots of stuff going on. I took a month off and had a good holiday and stuff, but then yeah, it's just been busy still doing that. So I sort of thought by now I would have jumped straight onto Telwynium and be have been doing that for a while, but I'm kind of only just starting to do it. So I was doing some art on Monday before launching the Drifter on Switch, and then hopefully today I'll be doing more Telwynium and doing some more drawing stuff for book four. Uh, yeah, so because I've been kind of thinking about that for years, like because it's book three came out I think almost 2 years ago, yeah. So I've kind of been yeah.
Sure, you had a lot
I've
of
kind of been like, come on, I got to get to this. I've got all these sort of ideas for what's going to
Sorry,
happen in the
I
last
don't
one.
understand.
What? She wants to join in.
Yeah, yeah. And then
So
yeah, so
anyway,
I'll
you had
put
the
book four
characters and the
out.
story already worked out. You're just
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it's just a matter
So
of
it's just what happens in the final book kind of thing. And I think it'll be a pretty big chapter compared to the first one for sure. Like I think some of the like book three I think is at least three times as big as the first one already. But then yeah, so finish that one and then I'll put that out still for free. So the first three books are already up on our itch page for free. But then yeah, collect them all together to sell on Steam as well as a kind of single game for the sort of people who want to play it as like that, So I think it'd be nice to just bring it to a bigger audience, like on Steam as well, and a different audience.
yeah.
Yeah,
Steam is really good. Or what I was trying to remember. So I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. I can't remember if it was Steam or maybe the Switch, but or Apple. But anyway, one of those was apparently just has this legendary difficulty level to try to get your game on it.
Ah, all right. No,
Yeah.
not
I guess
Steam's.
Steam was pretty easy,
Steam's
right?
fine. Yeah,
Must
yeah.
have
No,
been
Steam's
talking.
very
What
easy.
about the Switch? That must have been a little.
Switch, yeah, the consoles are all no, much harder. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
order of magnitude harder, definitely. Um, yeah, yeah. Steam. I think people who've only put stuff on Steam uh, are like, oh, this is really complicated. But yeah, no, it gets a lot harder. I think because partly the consoles all have all these different regions, so you're always like having to follow rules for lots of different regions. Like if you make a trailer, you've got to like I had to resubmit my trailer a bunch of times because it's like different for each region what sort of stuff they want on the end slate at the end. One of them was like, oh, you have to take out all the blood in it, things like that. And so you sort of
What?
yeah, so,
And that
and
was
they're
for
all
the Switch.
different. So and there's lots of guideline documents, like heaps of them, but then they're always just like, oh, there's nothing mentioning I couldn't have blood in it. That was just something they just came back and said. It's like, oh,
What's
uh,
wrong with it? They think it was for kids or something? What's the?
yeah, I think it's because if they want to put it on the store, potentially kids can see it. I'm not really sure. Yeah, but I think it's like
What's
they
that
kind of have a lot more
pixelated?
brand.
It's
Their
not like
brand is a lot more
gory
like
realist. It's not like a
yeah.
gore
No,
realistic
no,
looking
it was
thing.
exactly yeah. So
Jesus,
yeah, it's
okay.
yeah. But Steam, Steam will do a bit of a review of your game and check that it's not lying about the features it says on the page, whereas the consoles will like properly like play it for have to give a month extra for them to test it um to be before you can sort of launch it and stuff. And so yeah, potentially yeah, and they test things like, are you accessing the hard drive too often, and that might create wear on the components in the console and things like that. So
Uh,
they test some really nitty gritty stuff. So you
I'm
got to do
actually
all this
kind of
testing
pleased.
yourself.
I'm pleased to hear that they have such a good quality control, though.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
pretty.
it's not necessarily like you can still release a really bad game as long as it's meeting their requirements. That's the main thing.
Yeah,
It
your
just
game
can't brick your
sucks, but it
console.
doesn't use the
Yeah.
hard drive very
Yeah,
much.
that's it. That's it. Exactly.
Just chuckling here at your bullets on this Telwynium. A warm blanket of nostalgia.
Yeah. It definitely feels like that. It's always felt like that making it because it's like, oh, cool, I get to
What?
immerse myself in this world again.
Yeah, have you seen the Crimson Diamond?
Yeah, I loved Crimson Diamond. Yeah, that
She's
was amazing. Yeah, Julia did such a
I mean,
good job.
there seems to be some resurgence. There
Yeah,
seems to be a thing. This is happening.
I was very happy that that did well on Steam and people really liked it because it's like, oh, cool, I want to do this EGA game on Steam too. Well, and she did that much, she did the parser, like text parser, which I'd love to do as well, a text parser game. Um, because it's so cool. Like I do really love the text parser. Like as a mechanic, it's sort of I find it really immersive playing those games.
Oh, you mean the text
Still,
bars?
yeah. Like the idea that you can if you work, you could type in anything. You can kind of mostly things won't work, but like trying to find that thing that you've got that you want to that will work is like I don't know. Yeah, there's just something about that action which I find really immersive somehow. So every text parser game that comes out, and there's not that many, then yeah, I'm always into it.
Yeah, I know a lot of the old Sierra fans. They go back and forth like with the different King's Quests, and
Yeah, yeah,
some people like once they got rid of that text parser, it was just all
mm,
downhill.
yeah, yeah. That's true. I
I
mean, I love both, but yeah, they're very different feels in some ways, which is very. It's cool. It's cool that you get to play both still.
I like a simple interface, really. You're kind of
Yeah,
talking
they've definitely
before
been
about not
simpler.
wanting to be in your face or like this is a game. I remember
No,
playing some
no.
of those old point and clicks, and you got like the 8 different verb action
Hmm.
things, and you have to like cycle through all the mouse
Yeah,
pointers
no,
until you get to.
I'll happily rant
Like, what
about
is the
that sort of
point of
stuff.
that? Why do I need smell and taste and like?
Yeah, and then you use that verb once in the entire game if you're lucky.
Well, they probably were used to that text parser, and they're still thinking like that, right?
Yeah, it came from that. Yeah. But I think, yeah, for me, my approach is it's just to have the single verb on the like interaction click, and then you've got as many inventory items as you want, and each of those is a verb. So if you want to have an open verb, you give the player a crowbar. You know? That's how you make them immerse themselves in opening a door by like if it's just a door that you can open, you just let them click it because that's like there's no point having them to you know say use door and it's like I don't know what to do. It's like yes you do. Everyone knows how to use a door. You don't have to click
Oh
open.
my God. Yeah.
But then if you can just say okay this is a locked door. You actually have to think about this, and so you've got to get a key or get a crowbar or force it open somehow. You know that's where I think the verbs are more interesting. Yeah, when you
You're
treat
in a
inventory
coffin.
items as their own verbs.
Oh my God, that coffin. Yeah, nightmares. That was it. Whew, that was scary stuff. Yeah, I don't know how you do it either with the like the excitement, Oh my God, I gotta do something. I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah.
panicking. You're
Oh,
trying to
the
stop.
music makes such a
So,
big difference. Like, yeah,
oh, is that
getting
what?
my friends who did the music in, it's like, it really elevates stuff. It was like we found that from the game jam that we did. Like, and it was so surprising to me that in a point and click, people got like panicked because it's the most chill, like chill genre. So that was really exciting being like, oh yeah, cool. I get to like play with this thing idea that you can like get people excited while they're playing and sort of get them feeling tense and stuff. Um, and in a game where there's really no stakes because you just click around and you can take your time. There's like no, it feels like there's a lot of timed events, but there's actually none. It always just waits for you to click
Yeah,
something.
that's what I was talking about. Like it feels like there is,
Yeah. It's
which is a
amazing
perfect
how
spot to be.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
if
It's
there
just
really
the
was, it would just
music
be
and the
frustrating.
situation.
Like, damn,
Yeah,
it's game over. Wait, I didn't have a chance to do anything.
yeah,
Don't want
yeah.
that, but
Yeah, there is a lot of players that I see and they think that there's a timer, and so they just keep trying to do the same thing but faster. And it's like, no, if it didn't work one time, it's not going to work by doing it faster. Yeah, it's all about you. Yeah, you sort of counterintuitively have to slow down and think about like, okay, how do I get out of this situation? But it's so hard to do that when the music is like, you gotta die.
yeah, like in the Telwynium, I remember like your friend who's been out hunting or something with his bow. He comes back and you're like, oh my God, he's
Yep.
dying. You got to do something. And you got to get three things, and
Yep,
he's
yep.
ah, like trying to race to get the honey, and it's good because
Yeah, yeah.
again, this it's that idea of a puzzle that really is integral to the game and the story. Like this guy's dying. I got to find this. I got to get these items, and there's a purpose behind it.
Yeah, yeah.
It just kind of builds up on the tension. Whereas a lot of other games,
Yeah.
they'll send you off to just do some random crap, and
Yeah, I
I don't even know
definitely
why I need to get inside this tool chest so bad. What is the reason? Well, it's
yeah,
just
I think
because
the
you have to do that to proceed to the chapter two.
yeah, of course, yeah. That's definitely
Yeah.
my big thing is when I sort of play other devs games as well, like I want them to just make stuff happen. Like you got to make some exciting stuff happen. And it doesn't have to be like juicy murders and stuff like that, but that stuff helps. But it's got to be something that like affects the main character and is kind of and makes the player go, "Whoa, okay, I got to solve this," And when it's just like okay, there's a big chest with 3 locks on it or 5 locks on it, like in Return to Monkey Island. It was just like I was very not motivated to open this thing. Like it's just like, "Fuck, okay, I've got to just open a bunch of locks. It's
You're
not the
going
most
to
exciting,
need to disguise. You're going to have to
but
disguise yourself, and you're going to need to find a mustache and
yeah,
a
yeah,
photo. Yeah. And there must be games you probably don't want to dump on other game designers to get.
That's the thing. I'm always it's because it's my favorite genre. I'm equally love them and like internally very critical about them because I'm like, you can do better kind of thing.
What's your favorite ones? We talked about Space Quest.
Yeah, probably the Quest for Glory series, and because that's like,
Oh, the Quest for Glory series.
yeah, they're kind of it's
They're
my
kind of more of a role playing.
yeah. I think
You're
I
gonna have to
like
some of those
that balance
mechanics
was
into.
really cool, and that world, exploring that world as a kid. So that's sort of my nostalgia kind of place, kind of game where when I replay it, I'm like, I'm just enjoying it every time. Um, Yeah, the first Monkey Island definitely was like amazing in terms of think like the sort of variety in the puzzles and stuff, and having the cutaways to like LeChuck and things like that made it feel like, oh, this is actually a story, a proper story, like a movie, you know. And the tone of that game still had that kind of naive kind of exploration feel that kind of got lost a bit as it went on, even though it kind of gained other things. So yeah,
We've got some
yeah, I don't
other.
know. There's so many, there's so many I love.
Can you even get the original game on Steam?
Monk Island,
Yeah,
or
not
yeah. The
see
special edition.
Return.
Well, the special edition
Oh,
has you can swap to the old graphics, which is good because yeah, I love the old graphics.
you instantly have to switch. I mean, no offense to this artist, I guess. But,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's like they were
oh,
they basically got told repaint over all this art, and they probably weren't getting someone who was super expensive. So I sort of see the Photoshop brushstrokes in the old stuff,
well, look,
in the
doesn't don't
remade
you
art.
like this better than that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
look at that.
it's they're beautiful those paintings. Like you could, yeah.
That's not even the.
I
It's
feel
a
like
totally
they're
different
timeless, you know.
style, totally different.
Yeah, I did like how the tone was almost more serious, but then and so the comedy is like the comedy is layered on top of a kind of serious tone, um, which is
Yeah.
not, yeah, I don't know, it makes it better for me. Whereas as soon as it's like wacky graphics, it's sort of like you just expect the wacky jokes on top of that, so it's not as
Well, it's
impactful.
kind of the
But
sweet spot where it's like something that's sort of accessible to kids, but it doesn't treat them like kids.
yeah, yeah, and it's I think that world made me I wanted to explore Melee Island. It felt like a real place, and it did, yeah, it felt kind of spooky as well, right?
Oh
Um,
yeah. Well, some pretty
Yeah,
dark stuff
but I
happened.
did like. I mean, I loved the other ones as well as a kid and stuff. But
I
yeah,
can
when I've
almost hear
replayed
the
them
theme
all,
music. I
Monk
can
Island
hear the
one
theme
is
music to this just looking at these screenshots,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And there's not heaps of music in that first game, but every track is like amazing.
The Scumbar. Yeah, so are you thinking about maybe doing one with some role-playing mechanics like the Quest for Glory?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I've thought about that a lot. Quest for Glory kind of almost lucked onto a very cool mechanic that just fit nicely with the point and click stuff. That like, and there's it's very hard to tweak that formula without losing something. Like the way it works, you know, the more you do something in the game, the more the better your skill at it. So you know you can just spend a day climbing a tree, and you'll get good enough at climbing trees to climb it. But to do that, you've got to rest a bunch, and then you know, like if you wait too long, suddenly it's nighttime. You've got to find a place to sleep. So it kind of balances that mechanic by the day night thing. So you can't just go, I'll do that, but I won't do a day night cycle because then it won't work, you know, because you can just like grind out things forever. And so yeah, it's interesting, like just how they managed to get it all those things to fit together and feel just natural. And when I've kind of analyzed it more as a sort of game designer later, it's like okay, yeah, they've it just all fits together quite nicely. It's definitely not the most balanced game or anything like that. Especially the first one's like brutally hard the combat because it's like I still don't know how to do the combat. I just
I
like
just push those mash
spam
buttons as
attack.
quick as
Yeah,
possible. Yeah.
exactly. And then I just like attack goblins until I'm crazy strong, and then it's fine.
Have you
Yeah,
met
no,
any folks, any of these developers? Lori Flo?
no, no, not in person. Yeah, I didn't get to the sort of Adventure Game Hotspot had their big event, and they had all this Sierra alumni there. But no, I didn't get there.
They're
But
all, I've
they
had
all
a
seem
lot
so nice
of
as well.
they're all just really delightful people.
Yeah, yeah, that's the impression I
They
get.
talk
It's just very
they're
chill.
not arrogant or whatever you like.
No, yeah. They're
Super
just
nice.
like, oh yeah, we just made these sort of games back then, and it was kind of a fun time, and that's it. There's no like, yeah, we're like we're the future of technology or something like that you get from some other game developers that like,
Well, even though they had a right to be that way, I mean, Sierra especially, that was.
mm,
I remember when
mm,
those like a new King's Quest game was like that's the one you upgraded your
yeah, yeah, yeah.
PC
That
to
were the
play.
blockbusters, right? Yeah,
Oh, look, I got sound now. I got the
yeah.
what was that stupid
Buy,
thing called? The
gotta buy some more
Roland.
hardware. Yeah, MT32. Yeah.
Oh, you got the MT32. You have an
Yeah.
MT32?
No, no,
Oh,
no. But the musician who's making music for Telwynium, Brandon Bloom, he's got one, and that's what he's making it for.
Oh, no
So
way.
the track, so the soundtrack is MT32.
I
So
didn't know
mirror
that.
kind of
That's really
accurate.
cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, is
yeah,
that
very
on
cool.
your bullet list here?
Yeah, I think it is. Maybe
Oh, I didn't even
it's in
see
there
that.
somewhere.
Holy, I am losing it
Yeah,
completely.
Brandon's music's awesome. So
Okay,
yeah,
there,
I was
right
very excited
there.
when
How did
he,
I not
yeah,
see
yeah, I was very excited
authentic
when he was
Roland
happy to do
MT32
music.
soundtrack? Whoa,
It's
whoa.
legit. It's legit.
What if I get a picture of that bad boy? Do they even make those anymore? Or is it like,
No, no. But there's people buy them secondhand. I think they're probably quite expensive now because there's a lot of retro gamers
all these
who want them
Telwyniums
now.
coming
I
out
mean,
now?
they were expensive back then. They were like price of a like they cost you more than a car, I imagine back then
Oh
by a
my
lot.
God, $695.
So equivalent of two K, I guess, in 2025. Yeah, that sounds
What
about right.
actually is that? What
As
is
much
this?
as a second computer.
How do you make music with that?
Or you don't make the music on it. The music runs through it. So it's like a synthesizer. So it's still, you make the music in the MIDI tools that you would have always used. Um,
Oh,
but you make them with instruments that are built for the MT32, I guess.
oh,
Yeah.
so it's
So it has a lot more features, maybe.
okay. Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
different, like a much nicer sound, yeah, richer sound. And I
So
don't
like
know,
other all those,
audio nuts will like tell you a million things about it, I'm sure. No, it's got this FM synth sound that's this particular chip, which was the best chip at the time, and here's why it's good. And I don't know. None of it makes sense to me, but it
I
sounds
know
cool.
the Sid
Sounds very
chip.
nice.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
You a Commodore guy or
Yeah,
Apple
yeah, I
developer?
got one. I got one at like a church fete. It was on auction and it didn't work, but I got it for $4 Australian.
Well,
And it
you
was
got it
in
at
a
a
big
church and
box
they
with
sold you a
like,
broken 64.
yeah, but it was in a box with like four joysticks and like piles of games. And all it needed to fix was like to change the fuse. The fuse had like blown. So I changed the fuse and I had a working Commodore 64 and just like, yeah, 50 games to play on it. So that was great. So yeah, but that was, that was, I don't know, a decade at least after it had come out. But I still had a blast playing a bunch of Commodore stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of I don't think, how many adventure games did they have on the 64? 'Cause I played most of them on the Amiga.
Yeah. Was
I mean,
Manic
there's a
Mansion on there?
bunch of like text ones, and I'm trying to
Yeah,
think
Text
if
Adventures, yeah.
the
I
King's
didn't
Quest ever
play any
come out
back
on the.
then. I don't think so.
I don't know if
But
Sierra
maybe
released
Manic
one.
Mansion because that was on lots of stuff.
I
Yeah, I'm
remember
not
I had
sure.
Police Quest on the 64. Ah, wow.
Yeah, I don't think any of the Sierra games were because they were, yeah,
I think
PC
there was one
Junior
called
was
The
the first
Hobbit.
thing. Yeah, that was an Australian game. Yeah.
Oh, that was an I was going to ask you
Yeah.
something, Dave. Have you ever met this guy? Uh, Craig Ritchie, Broken Roads.
Ah, uh, I might have seen him at PAX,
He was
PAX
somebody.
Australia, but I don't haven't no, I haven't sat and had a conversation with him. No.
I don't know if I got any. So you
But I
probably
really
haven't
like
seen
I
any
played
from.
Broken Roads partly because I was like eyeing off all their Aussie accents in when I was doing voice casting. It's like, okay, who are they? Who do they get to do these nice Aussie voices?
Z Voices. Yeah, you were. I was watching some other interview and they were talking about that, like with the Drifter, how cool it was to have those, I guess, accents or dialects or whatever you call that. You got
Yeah,
me
yeah,
thinking, I'm from Louisiana. I could do like a Cajun game.
yeah, yeah,
Have
yeah.
like
I think it's
have like
cool.
authentic Louisiana Creole accents in there.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
I
don't know,
think it
people
is
would just be
cool
like, "What the
just
hell is the guy saying?" I can't.
having games that are made. I don't know that just sort of show a bit of where the developers are from is kind of cool. Yeah,
Yeah, he was
I
telling
like
me
that.
he's got like some stuff in here in his game with it's like some indigenous people
Yeah, yeah.
or like sites, archaeological sites or something. But he was saying that I might be misremembering a little bit of it, but he was like that was such a grueling approval process
Yeah, yeah.
to get
No, it
all the
is.
check to make sure everything is
Yeah,
accurate
yeah.
and not a
it's good cause,
You have, yeah, there's a lot of
that kind of thing.
consulting, but even
Yeah,
like
he didn't know
you
about
don't want to
that.
sort of, you don't want to kind of pay a consultant to just give you permission to like use this other culture's like stuff for your entertainment product. And that's where it becomes difficult because like you're
Oh
like, okay,
yeah.
how do we do this properly? Okay, there's a company which will do consulting for us, but then some of those companies really just like take payment to go, yep, you're allowed to do this, and then there's other groups that are like, yeah, that's not really cool either. Just white people paying to be able to use this, like,
Well, yeah, you'd
this thing is
expect
not
it
their
to be.
culture.
I mean, the whole reason you're doing is you want to be authentic and
That's it. Yeah,
respectful. You're
that's it.
not
Yeah, and
trying to
yeah,
like make people look bad or go with the
yeah, that's
stereotype.
it. That's it. Yeah, you just
So,
got, yeah, it's got to be done with your heart in the right place. That's it. And like, and with people involved, of that culture and have their heart in the right place too about it, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially if there's like anything religious and sacred stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's a hard thing to navigate. Like it's sort of yeah, it's something I wasn't sure about because I had the sort of monster name in there originally came from an Aboriginal word and I changed it because I sort of realized okay, oh yeah, that's just like stealing their word for this kind of spirit creature thing for my own gain really. And so originally I was just like, oh, that'll be cool. I'll be like, you know, sort of promoting their culture or something. But then, yeah, it was like a bit only a bit later that I was like, nah, actually, yeah, that's like
Uh,
specifically exactly appropriation. I shouldn't do that. Yeah. Because it's I
right.
mean it takes me a bit to get my head around that stuff sometimes as well, like
Well,
for
I think
sure.
you're probably more sensitive than many. I mean,
Yeah,
like
well, I think
even
it's
like with the Drifter, you've got the scene that with the journalist. Like,
yeah, yeah.
you
I
people,
think
I'm
it's
here
good.
to like take photos. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah,
laughing. I was like, I'm a professor. So I've
yeah,
had students and they pitch these projects to me sometimes that are exactly like that. Like, whoa, whoa, we got to really talk about this.
yeah.
And that was spot on though. So,
Yeah, I mean, it comes from like, with your students and stuff like it comes from the right place. They think
oh
this is like they want to learn about it. They want to they don't want it to just be hidden. And yeah, but it's like, um, yeah, it's
well, it was
you
cool to get to see
gotta
it.
be
I mean,
smart.
it's kind of I don't know if educational is the right word here, but being in the
Yeah,
shoes of the drifter.
yeah,
And when this is happening, you feel it, you sort of feel it from his point of view. Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay. I sort of
And
get
it's
why
not as
this would
simple
be
as yeah,
offensive.
yeah. And I sort of wanted those characters to feel like they're real people and they're friendly and they're nice and they're not just something to be laughed at or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's
totally.
still usually how you see any kind of unhoused person in like in media is usually like, oh, like there's a dirty bum, let's kick them or whatever. Like, or let's laugh at how they talk or whatever. That's you see that so much, and it's still weird to me when I see that. Partly because I've sort of been thinking about how to approach it myself. So yeah, it's like I'm not doing too badly when I compare it to,
Well, it
to
can
a
be
lot of other
useful, I
things.
would imagine, because if there is something, if there's a clear trope and you're like, yeah, I've seen this done 100 times in movies and games, so that gives you the power,
Yeah,
act like you're going to go down that same road, but then
yeah, yeah,
just flop it around, turn the tables on the
yeah,
player, like, whoa,
yeah.
oh.
Hmm.
So yeah, you got the EGA artwork in this too, with a selection of CRT filters.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we haven't talked about your uh, what's it called? Engine? Your
Oh, PowerQuest. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Power
That's
Quest.
been
Let's talk
really
about that because that's super cool. Because I think most people might assume you just use that what was it, Adventure Game
Adventure Game
Studios.
Studio. Yeah.
So you didn't do that. You made your own thing. So let's see. Look at that.
Yeah, so I started with I started
Uh,
out with Adventure Game Studio back in 2002, and it's a really nice engine to work in.
oh yeah.
It does the one thing, makes point and clicks. But then yeah, working professionally and like with sort of bespoke C++ engines, and then onto PowerQuest.powerhoof.com is probably the easiest way to get there.
Oh, wait, what is it?
PowerQuest.powerhoof.com.
I
Yeah,
noticed you say that you will hoof me. What is that all about?
that's been there since like when we created the website in 2013. Just like, what should I write? This will do.
I don't know. It sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's funny.
Is it like you're gonna get a hoof in the face? Okay, make
Um,
2D point and clicks
yeah,
A.
so then yeah, going and making a bunch of other games with more powerful engines. I kind of wanted that nice workflow that Adventure Game Studio had, but in a powerful, more modern engine where I can do, porting and things like very easily and just add sort of more modern features and make it easier to use that way. And so yeah, that's what PowerQuest ended up being. It was like kind
Yeah.
of remaking the Adventure Game Studio workflow in Unity, and then being able to add sort of a lot more quality of life stuff and sort of features on top of that that let you kind of make as modern as you want, sort of point and clicks. So you can do like high res stuff and all that and fancy shaders and things like that, as well as there were sort of things like Telwynium, which look like they're from the 90s. So yeah, it's been quite rewarding doing that, like and sort of having a little community on our Discord, people making stuff with it. Yeah.
Wait, this is zero?
Yeah, it's free. It's free. Yeah, I'll pay what you want, kind of thing.
Free?
Yeah, yeah. I
How
thought
you gonna make the
about
big money?
well, I make that from the games. That's my main job. This is just
Well, you
a
probably
sort
get
of
a lot
side
of
hustle.
people texting you all the time, right? I can't figure this out. What do I
Yeah,
do?
yeah. Well, on the Discord, but that's kind of nice because it's like a community of people helping each other. So like it doesn't have to be me answering. It's like other people who are making games with it will be like, oh, this is how I did it. So that feels really nice. That's the reward I think for this sort of working on tools like this is they're fun to make. Honestly, working on tools is quite fun. Uh, and then yeah, having people using them is like it's really really nice. Yeah. It's the same as like seeing people play the games is like a nice thing. But yeah, it's just a sort of different level when you got like a lot of people chatting about. And yeah, I get to see more adventure games getting made, which is good for me as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I know Unity has that 2D mode, I guess, but
hmm
I'm not even sure
Yeah,
how
it's
to
not.
get
It's
started. I
kind
mean, if you're
of
just trying to do it absolutely from scratch to try to make something like a point and click, I mean, wow, that's going to be. Well, you said it took you
yeah.
6 years. I
Well, yeah, it shouldn't take that long.
mean, it would take
I mean, we
a
did the
long
game jam in a
time. I
week.
mean, if you have to do every little thing yourself,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Well,
that's
that
not
was
even
I'd
getting
sort of
into
already
like
been working on something. I'd been working on like an early version of PowerQuest, but it didn't really have the features for other people to use it very easily yet. But back then, in 2017, I think that was.
oh, you got lip syncing
Yeah,
in.
but yeah. I'm really happy with it. I really like using it as well, which is, I think part of it's good to work on a tool that you're actually using as well. I think in general, like game dev tools, which is one of the problems with Unity, they don't actually make games, so they add features, but they don't use them to make games. So like you really need to have some tools on top of Unity to be able to make it pleasant to use, and that's what this is kind of as well.
You got video tutorial.
Yeah, that's that one. Yeah,
Yeah. So you get
yeah.
pretty. You say you got a lot of people using this.
Yeah, yeah. There's been a string of games coming out, a bunch on Steam as well. But yeah, I think like I've kept a sort of list on the itch.io page of all the games, and there's like 80 or something that have come out so far. I mean, it's still nothing compared to Adventure Game Studio because that's been around for so long and has so many people using it all the time. So, but no, it's been good.
Yeah, I think is it. I think Dave Gilbert uses that, right?
Yeah, it's still Adventure Game Studio. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to
and
think.
Crimson Diamond was made in Adventure Game Studio as well.
Oh, she
That was
used.
one of the last things I actually did. One of the last things that recently it was probably a year ago now that I added to PowerQuest was a text parser support, so that you can make things like Crimson Diamond as well. Because I did that as like we kind of did a little power jam game jam where like it was people making games in PowerQuest to sort of game jam, and instead of making a game, I added that feature during the game jam, so people
It
can
doesn't
make
look too
parser
hard.
games.
I wonder, could you like make a kind of a quest for glory sort of a game with this?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. That's what it's for, really. Like any kind of game like that.
And then you get a screen like this, and you're like, oh God.
Well, there's lots of
That's the
stuff
problem
to.
with Unity. It looks
It,
it's like sitting down at like a jumbo jet cockpit, every time.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. And
What
that's
is all
partly
this?
what PowerQuest sort of tries to simplify. It's like it just sort of presents the stuff that is adventure gamey stuff. So it's like, okay, here's here's, you get a room and here's the hotspots. You can add hotspots to the room, and the hotspots, you can give them a name, and then you click a button. What happens when, like, the button is just like use? So it's like, oh, this is what happens when you use it. There's a button for look. This is what happens when you look at it. And then the scripting is a bit just like writing a movie script. It's just like the character name and a colon, and then the bit of text you want them to say. And then, yeah, so this is like some examples of different things. So if you want a character to walk somewhere, you sort of C dot, and it shows all the characters' names, and you just sort of choose the one you want, like that top line, C dot Barney dot walk to. It's just telling Barney to walk to Dave. And yeah, so sort of as you go, you sort of learn a bit more of the scripting, but you can kind of take it slow.
Tree eat pizza. A fellow with a rat tail. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
look
so
too
these are
bad.
examples of all the different types of script functions as well. So the scripts would often have a lot more just like mainly just
Oh,
like movie script kind of style stuff.
I know where you got
Yeah.
that from.
Yeah.
You can't use a sword on that. Well, why not? This doesn't look too bad. You think this is easier to use than the AGS, or is it?
Yeah, it's a little bit easier. So it's very similar. I think AGS would have like um I tried to simplify some of the functions, because I think some things, like when you want in AGS to say um have a character say something, it's like c dot mat dot say, and then you have to do a bracket and a sort of quotes, and then the line, and then end quotes and the semicolon. Whereas in mine, you just say mat colon and then type the line of dialogue. There's some places in AGS you can do that, but not in the main scripts, I think.
Only when
So
I
things like that.
used Twine. I don't know if you ever.
Yeah, Twine's fun. I like Twine's
Yeah, I
really
like the
nice.
simplicity of that, but even that got me
Exactly,
kind of
yeah.
complicated with the.
Or if you try and make something complicated, it gets hairy, right? Yeah. But I actually really like playing Twine with my kid, who's 11 now, but we just like I sit at the keyboard, and he just like starts talking about, like, okay, well, like, you're standing in a room and this is happening, and like this, and I'm just typing it out, and then like, okay, what are the choices, and he just says it and I type it, and then by the time he's finished talking, the game's ready to play, because in Twine, it's just the text. So it's so fun to do that. And the stories are like very fun and strange. It's like it's kind of like the QBasic games I started out making, I think, where like
Like
all I could do is go
basic
to, like,
gorillas.
yeah, yeah, all I could do is like have it print text, have it say, like, give the player a choice, and then make it either go to this line or go to this line, and so you could kind of choose your own adventure stories.
My favorite thing with the Q Basic was it looked like DOS.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had a computer class, and the teacher went out of the room or something. So I jumped on her workstation, made this little program. And so she came
I
back,
see where this is going.
and she's like, "Okay, class, I want you. We're going to do this." I forget what it was, like WordPress or something stupid. But when she typed it in, it said, "I'm not in the mood to do that right now." She, she just somehow she knew it was me. That was the fun. I don't know. She just
Probably a
like,
smirk on your
Art,
face.
Matt, come with me. I had to go to the principal's office. And,
Oh, that's great.
I'm like, the principal though, he just thought it was hilarious. He's like, "Oh, go,
Yeah.
go fix it." And but you can't, the kids these days they won't have that experience, right? Because I don't know how
Yeah.
you really full do
Like that
that.
was there is like they do a lot of like STEM stuff. So there's quite a lot of like learn to code kind of things that are really oriented for kids, but it's less typing. So a lot of it's like node based things like Scratch, or Microsoft has one called Make Code Arcade, which is very cool. Like you sort of drag some building blocks in. It's got a little so you drag a thing saying set the player's sprite to this, and then you just click a little box, and it's like lets you draw the character sprite in a little pixel editor. And then it's got a
Scratch.
little music sequencer thing, so it's a little tile editor. So it is really fun. Like it's cool that there's tools that are made like that, and it doesn't seem to have any of that Microsofty ickiness. It's like it looks like, yeah, they just made a nice little thing for people.
Yeah, what we started off talking
Just-
about QBasic. You
yeah,
made a game with QBasic, yeah. You think you could make a game in QBasic and put it up on Steam? Yeah.
I reckon I mean, it's got a novel enough hook, just that it's made in QBasic. So
Gorillas too.
yeah, yeah. Who
That'd be
owns the
fun.
who owns that IP?
I don't know if anybody does. Was that a? I guess it was a
Was
Microsoft project.
QBasic Microsoft? Yeah, probably was. Why
I
aren't
don't
they
know.
doing anything with that IP? It could be the where's the film adaptation?
Yeah, kind of thinking of it. Do they even have any special way to spell gorillas? Was it like with a Z?
No, that's the band.
Well, they would probably be fine with you. I mean, because it was a tutorial, right? Or like a
Yeah,
sample.
yeah. It was really a sample to like poke around in. And I do remember poking around it and working out how to make the explosions really big. Because I think it was like commented, so it would be like, this is the size of the explosion. And you could just make the number like 100 and it would make them take up the whole screen.
Yeah, that's one thing I miss is when you're making games in BASIC or talking about the 64, you had BASIC
Yeah.
games. You could actually just get it to list all the source code there.
Yeah, yeah. Although I'm trying to understand what all these sort of pokes are like.
What the hell was that business with the pokes and the
It's
peaks?
just
Is
like
that like machine?
push this like number into this bit of memory and that changes the text color for some reason. That's like how it all worked.
Yeah, you
Just have
talk
to
to
know all these
people that are
numbers.
doing that, like the assembly stuff, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you have to know assembly to."
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
No.
what's wrong with basic? It's built right. Just do this with basic. Oh no, you have to do this weirdness, But
Yeah, I never quite got into doing assembly. I did one unit of that uh,
oh,
in
you
at
didn't
uni,
study
and that
that
was
in your
it for
computer
me.
science classes.
Yeah, I did a
I guess
tiny
they
bit.
wouldn't have any need to teach something like that.
You do a bit for hardware stuff, so like when it's gonna get like put onto a chip on a little circuit board or something. We used to do a bit, but now you've got like Arduinos and things like that, so you can just write really easy to read code and stick that on the chip. It's
My
pretty fun.
folks here, I think they were learning Java, like some.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We did Java and then a bit of C++ plus plus too. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to have some. I think it's C sharp for Unity, right?
yeah, yeah. Which
It,
is like
it
the
also uses JavaScript, right? There's
nah,
some
it's really
other
just C
language you
sharp.
can
They
use.
did initially they had you could use a few different ones and then they I think they just took everything out except for C sharp. C sharp's really nice. It's like very convenient and easy version
You're
of
not one of these
making.
folks that wants to move to Godot or whatever that.
Yeah,
Got it. How do you even say it?
I've got
Godot?
so many tools. Godot, I think.
Good job.
Yeah, I've got so many tools built up in Unity, like the PowerQuest stuff, that I'm sticking with it. And yeah, it does feel like it's a little bit limited compared to and I guess there's still like a lot of people solving some of the issues that have been solved on in Unity for a long time. But I'm not really a fan of Unity as a company. But
I haven't
the
met
core
many
of
people who are. I mean, it must be.
yeah, the core of the engine is great. Like it was solid when we started using it in 2013, and that bit hasn't changed. They keep tacking on stuff that I don't need. So I'm using a really old version. Um, because yeah, I mean the games I'm making, I'm not trying to be the cutting edge really.
Well, that's a
Um,
lesson I wish somebody had told me when I was starting. I had a pretty big game project I was working on at one point with Unity. Nobody had told me like how stupid it is to try to update Unity,
yeah, yeah,
on your
I hate it
project.
every time.
It's
Yeah,
just like don't bother, don't update, just whatever version you're working with, because
yeah,
I guess if you're just starting out, it'd be fine. But once you got a substantial thing built up, it never works.
yeah, yeah. It's just pain because it's just like it's a step backwards. You don't usually get anything that useful because they're always adding features, but they're always a bit half baked, and they're always taking something out when they put something new in. And so you're like, oh, now I've got to redo this bit of code because they don't have this thing anymore. And I get this new way of doing things, but it already worked the old way, so I'd already made that work.
Like you
Um,
got this big advantage because you're making these games,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you know what people
yeah.
need
That's it. I'm
and
using my own
want.
tools.
So you're not trying to make this generic thing that would be good for making any kind of game.
Yeah, that's the big advantage. Yeah, and that's what means it can be quite streamlined, and I can sort of make the code and scripting simpler and things like that because I'm only trying to do one thing. Like, so I can just say, yeah, c.mat.walk walk over here, and it works. I don't have to go. I don't have to,
Hey, Matt, walk
yeah,
off that
write some
cliff.
elaborate thing.
How do you do the art? Because you're doing your own artwork for Telwynium, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
You
this one,
take some art classes or something, or what?
no, I think honestly, it rubbed off on me a lot of the stuff just by osmosis, like over the years working with like better artists. And so I kind of got, yeah, some of those sort of
I
style kind
don't
of
think I
rules
could
thing
draw
rubbed
something
off on
this
me.
good.
Like I sort of started out, and I when I was first doing stuff, I would draw a bit, but yeah, like
You draw
just
it out
over
on
time.
paper first and then copy it into the
I do a
computer.
very really small rough sketch, but I'm rubbish drawing on paper really because I heavily lean on the eraser and like drawing a line and pressing undo, and when I'm doing art stuff. This sort of Telwynium style is quite nice because I can be quite scrappy, and I'm using Ace Bright, and someone made a
None of
kind
that
of
anti-aliasing nonsense either.
yeah, no, yeah, it's the 16 colors. So yeah, someone made a plugin tool thing for Acebright, which lets you which converts to the dithered stuff. So for SCI zero style, which is this era of Sierra games, and so yeah, I found like when I applied that style and it adds all the dithering for the 16 colors, it just makes it look quite I guess cohesive. It feels like it's a game from that era, which was pretty nice.
And it
So
really,
it
I'd
sort
be
of
very
helps
curious.
my art look better.
I'd be very curious if like Roberta Williams or Lori or Cole or I think of some other folks from this era.
Mm,
I guess even Al Low, but it'd be funny to
yeah,
see what they would think of something like this.
yeah. I think for the impression I've gotten from a few interviews and stuff is that they're and same from like Julia's game and stuff is that they're just a bit like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just make it look like a modern game? Because for them, it's not a nostalgia thing. It's just like, oh, that's just what we had to do back then because that's the limitations we had. For us, it's
That's a good point. So yeah,
yeah,
how do you
it's
respond to that?
yeah. I mean, I think it's its own unique style. I think it's like how there's probably people who are like, why would anyone want to listen to a record like a vinyl record anymore? Like, why when you can just use Spotify? It's like there's something nice about there's something yeah, like I didn't grow up with vinyl. I'm not that old, but I still I have a bunch of vinyls. I love listening to vinyl records and stuff like that because there's something that's lost when you jump to Spotify or just even jump to like just digital stuff at all. And so yeah, it has its own purpose. It has its own kind of place, I think. Yeah.
There's a YouTube channel of the guy that plays records, so he's got like you could listen to the record and see the record turning and listen to
Ah,
it.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I think we're missing something.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know
He's
if that's
enjoying it.
exactly the same as like actually
Yeah.
having a record player. But I would imagine that there's some advantages to this nostalgia bit though, because you get it's sort of instant audience, right? Anybody that grew up playing these,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I see what this is, and
Yeah, I think it's hard to know what that's a small audience, but it's yeah, there's an audience
I
there.
would
It's
wonder
nice.
like with the kids, that never played them,
Yeah, but the kids grow up playing Minecraft and they love that
Oh,
style,
that's true.
and that's
True.
all super pixely and like so there's yeah, I'm just because my kid's 12, but I mean I sort of forced all that stuff on my on my kid, but I definitely noticed with his friends they're very happy to just play some pixely game. Like they don't look at it and go, oh, that looks old. So yeah, I definitely haven't noticed. Like I like a bunch of Tom's school friends playing Shredder's Revenge and just loving that like that art style and that gameplay and everything. The sort of yeah. So
Well, that's pretty cool. So
they don't blink at
you
it.
got
They
play
don't look at it and
testers
go,
ready
"Oh,
to
this
go.
looks old." Where's the like bright flashing colors and super high res like CG stuff? Yeah, no, definitely don't get that impression at all. I think there's definitely a certain audience in the middle that are very much like pixel art. Like I want yeah,
Oh,
I
the
want
heck
something to
with
play on
those.
my 4K monitor at 120 FPS. But yeah,
I just
that's
had
the same
Steve.
with any pixel art. Yeah,
I don't know if you ever read Steve Kent's books on the ultimate
no,
history of video games and stuff. He's just
oh
interviewed
yeah, yeah,
everybody. He's just.
yeah, okay, yeah.
But he had a lot of chapters in there that I kind of talk about this, what we're talking about now.
Mm,
The Nintendo guys especially.
hmm.
Like we don't need the cutting edge stuff. No
Yeah,
kid's not going to buy a game because it doesn't have a God ray or the
yeah.
whatever the hell I don't even know what they're talking about now. Uh,
Yeah, no, totally.
so yeah, Dave. Well, it's been fun. Wow, we've already talked for an hour. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about or promote or
I don't know. Yeah. No.
got a couple shoot a
quick question. Let me see if anybody submitted a question.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of games on our H page that like I think I love making the little games just as much as like the big ones like the Drifter and stuff. Because they're yeah, they're kind of it's nice. I feel like I can be proud of the small ones just even because like they were just made in a shorter time and things.
Oh,
But yeah, it's I like doing all the small stuff. It's sort of so yeah, if you want some free stuff to play, you can poke around there. There's a bunch of stuff there.
I did have a question here from Matt Bradley Shirky. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's pretty good. I don't think we've touched on this. Do you think games should have a hint guide?
Yeah, I didn't do one for the Drifter, but I think in retrospect, I probably would have. And I'm thinking about it for Telwynium because, um, yeah, like for Drifter, I was like hoping that I'd done enough playtesting and added enough like signposting where people did get stuck that like people would be able to look around for a bit and then find a solution. But um, yeah, the just that everyone is different, and it's so easy to miss like one little clue, and then you just kind of a bit lost. And so I don't think that's a problem with it. Like I use hint guides um, for action games and things, like trying to play Hollow Knight. I'm like, all right, I've bashed my head against this boss for an hour now. I'm just going to look up how to do it, and even if a lot of the time the answer is just like I've got to get good, and I'm just bad at this.
Oh, I
But
hate
sometimes I learn something, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I'll try doing this. And so I think it's like, yeah, I'm not against it. Like definitely, it's a part of it. I think it'd be good. I don't think it's good to design a point and click thinking, oh, people can just use a hint guide if they get stuck. I think it's better to design them going, okay, I've got to make this so people have all the clues and everything they need to be able to solve it. And if people like keep missing this thing, I'll add something like to sort of point them along the right direction, like little soft hints and things like that. But at the same time, yeah, like I think it's good to
I've got a great
have a walk
idea
through
for you. I got a
stuff
great
and
idea for you, Dave.
yeah, go.
All right. So you make a puzzle. There's there's no way you can solve this thing, right? So the little hint that pops up says, "Hey, you look stuck. Why don't you click on this website here and for $5,
Yeah.
for 5.99 microtransaction."
Called its hint line.
I'm being a little bit silly with that, but I have heard now every designer I've talked to has denied this. I'll just put that out there. But there was this rumor that they intentionally made the games difficult so they could sell
Yeah,
hint
yeah,
books.
yeah.
They actually made more money
Yeah.
selling the hint book than the.
Yeah, well, I definitely heard they made more money selling the hint books, but then
You
yeah,
heard
just
that too. So.
in the same breath, they're like, no, we just made it hard because all the feedback we got was it's too easy at the time,
Well,
and
they
people
told me
wanted
that it
a
was
game that
they
would
needed
take
to
them
make the
forever.
game longer
Yeah,
because they didn't want people to just people back then you might get one or two new games a year.
yeah, and they were expensive, yeah,
So
and they'd be like,
you'd be
I want to
pissed
be able
off
to.
if you beat the game in like 2 hours.
That's it, yeah, I want to be able to be stuck on this for a whole year, please. Yeah,
I want
very
to be
different
stuck
now.
on this. That's replay value.
Yeah, yeah. And so people, yeah, and it also back then I think it took it took a village to beat a point and click. You know, it wasn't something you did in isolation. You'd talk to your friends and like if you know in primary school for me, I'd be like, oh, I've worked this bit out, and my friend would have worked some other bit out, and then we'd sort of get through it that way. And then
You
yeah,
must have had
you'd look in
smarter
the
friends.
newspaper
You had
like they
smarter
had.
friends than me. I never figured anything out.
Yeah, I didn't figure much out.
I mean, how does somebody
um,
finish something like Myst or Zork or
yeah, I never
any of those?
finished.
Just if somebody honestly got through that all on their own without any hints,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like in awe.
They take their time, you know. Yeah, they just keep going. If they're enjoying, I think if they're enjoying it, even when they're not making progress, then that's fine. Like, yeah. But I think it's definitely, there's just so many
You
games
remember
people
that,
want to play now. It's a very different thing.
remember that
Um,
slime puzzle in The Seventh Guest? You ever play that one?
yeah,
Oh
I
my
didn't beat
God.
it.
Who the hell? Yeah, you should you ever think about a full motion video game for
Yeah, definitely.
when
Yeah,
you think about
we've talked about
nostalgia?
doing that
You
for
talked
a
about
game
it.
jam, for
Oh,
doing
yeah.
it not just as a game jam thing because it'd be so fun, like just like hanging out at a friend's house or something with with some devs and like with our phones, just like recording a bunch of footage and then slamming it into a game and making some really terrible like
Well, I think I heard those
FMV
Tex
game.
Murphy games are coming back, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, Tex Murphy's great. Like that's amazing. I can't believe how early that game came out as well when you look at the art style and everything. And like the tech in that is just yeah, it
When was
came
that?
out
Like
before like
90s?
Duke 3D and stuff and Yeah, it was really early. Like it's earlier. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but I remember the last time I looked at it and I was like, how could it be this early? Like for, the tech that was in there, like it's pretty crazy. It's a weird. The controls are so weird in that game. But that's that era. Everything's very strange. They're trying to work it out basically how you should be able to how do you control something in 3D? Took them a while to figure that out.
I don't know if I figured it out yet. All right, Dave. Yeah, it's been fun, man.
Yeah, no, it's been great.
Yeah, I have to get you back on. I guess you're still working on Telwynium now, but
Yeah, Telwynium next. Dive into that more. But yeah. Thanks for having me.
oh, thank you. It's been fun. I love your games, man. Really looking forward.
Yeah, cheers. I appreciate it. Yeah, cool.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
And that's all for this week's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It was a pretty good time, I thought, with Dave. Really been enjoying his adventure games. And I'm curious what you think about all this. Do you think, have you played any of these newer point and clicks that have been coming out? Is there a favorite? Is there one that you think, is there a developer maybe you think we should get on the show? Or maybe you're interested in some of the older projects we could look back on, do a little retrospective on. What are your favorite games from that genre? Whatever it is, love to hear from you. And as always, I want to thank you very much for watching this episode, hopefully liking and sharing it, but most of all for going to that link in the show notes to the Patreon site and keeping the show in production. Thank you very much to all those loyal, noble Ratrons that keep the lights on around here. And I've been mentioning in a couple of past episodes, we're really in dire straits here. We could really use your support right now. So if you haven't ever supported the show financially, please rectify that. You really enjoy the content that you get, the access to the Discord channel, which I think is, maybe I'm a little biased. I think it's the best Discord channel out there if you like the stuff we cover on this channel. A lot of great people. You'll have a good time. You'll be in good company. We'd really like to have you join our community. So please do that. Take a few minutes, $1, $2. Maybe you're already a member, but you could bump it up a little bit just to kind of cover the holes we're finding in our budgets these days. I have infinite gratitude for you for doing that. So please help us out. We want to keep doing these episodes, but we can't do it without support. So take a few minutes, sign up for a Patreon account, and I think you'll like the show even better. All right, let's see. What about that news from the Matt Cave? All right, I got a couple of Miko joints here. First up is one about Banquet for Fools. Remember this? Hannah and Joe, of course. They've got a new update they call Update 1.1, a song for Sella. So there's a lot more going on here than bug fixes. We got new armor models, hairstyles, new spells, new bard songs, new enemies, additional encounters, a whole suite of optional game modes, including randomizer, 2 guards, deadline wands. It just goes on and on, folks. A lot of great stuff in this update. So if you've been waiting for an excuse to try this game, maybe you haven't purchased it yet, or maybe more likely you bought it, but it's kind of been sitting there because maybe you haven't had enough time to check it out. This would be a really good time. I think you'll really enjoy it even more with all this new content. So that's Update 1.1, a song for Sella. Next item is King's Bounty, The Legend. I've got a copy of... I got the original King's Bounty over there, and then I've got the newer one here. So this is a substantial modernization patch for King's Bounty, The Legend. So it adds native widescreen support, more readable interface. That's always a good thing. It's often little things like just making a font more readable that can elevate a game to the next level, because at the end of the day we're sitting there staring at this trying to make out the details. That's why I always think the user interface is one of my favorite things to harp on, and it makes a huge difference, and it a lot of times makes even more difference even than the mechanics and the story and all that kind of stuff. If it's not a pleasurable experience to play a game, you got problems. So it looks like they've looked into that. Got a zoom, you can zoom now, Steam achievements, trading cards, and full Steam Workshop support for modders to come in, make it even better. So they're going to also be updating King's Bounty Armored Princess soon. So if you're not familiar with that series, I believe it came out before Heroes of Might and Magic. I think it was one of the inspirations for that game, or something that they based a lot of the ideas on. So that's pretty cool. Seem to be getting a lot of love for those Heroes games lately, and King's Bounty is sharing the bounty, I suppose. So thank you for those items, Miko. Next up, this is potentially the most exciting thing ever, but it also could be a nothing burger. So we don't know yet. But Richard Garriott, aka Lord British, okay, he's reclaiming the copyrights to the Ultima franchise. Be still my beating heart. You know, EA, the evil A, I'll let you guess what A stands for there, has had it all this time, and they've been, well, not the best stewards, I guess, of this franchise. So this is some pretty potentially exciting news. However, there are some wrinkles here. So EA would still control the Ultima trademark, so that could be a sticking point. You might have to go off and make another spin-off kind of a thing. That didn't turn out too well with Shroud, but we'll see. But if he does manage to really and truly recover all those copyrights, it could open the door to some kind of new project tied to that classic Ultima series. So that'd be really cool, because that thing has basically been in limbo for decades now. I'd love to see something exciting done in that with that franchise. So I guess we'll have to wait a little while to hear the details on this. Garriott has said at Dragon Con he will talk about more. We'll talk more about what he has achieved or what he's working on there. So stay tuned. I guess this is stay tuned. It's a pretty compelling rumor right now. I mean, whoa, wouldn't it be cool to have a truly great new Ultima game, or even some really great reboots or remakes of those earlier ones? You know, let me know what you think about that. Maybe you think we should perish the thought, you know, the classic games are where it should stay. But I'd like to see some modern takes. All right, and then last, I got some sad news here. Bobby Prince, you know him, the composer, sound designer behind Doom, Doom 2, Wolfenstein 3D, Commander Keen, just a whole bunch of great soundtracks, passed away at the age of 81. So he and his music really defined that era, I would argue, the early 90s PC game soundtrack, soundscape, if you will. That heavy metal inspired music that a lot of us like to work out to. You know, try it sometime. Cue up the classic Doom soundtrack and just tell me that doesn't get your juices flowing. Just last month, the soundtrack for Doom was selected for preservation in the Library of Congress's National Recording Registry. Pretty cool tribute there, a bit of his legacy. And yeah, so rest in peace, Bobby Prince. You know, it's a shame. I would have loved to have him on the show at some point to talk to him about all this, but you know, again, it goes to show you how important it is that we're doing these interviews, especially with the legacy developers, and trying to preserve their stories, get them on video, get them preserved somewhere so that future generations can know what these guys and gals were like. And if you're supporting Matt Chat, you are helping. So once again, thank you for all that. Okay, I think that'll do it for the news, and then I have a quote here. And I've been listening to a course from Wondrium about the history of mathematics. It's been pretty fascinating stuff. I'm not a mathematician by any means, but it's still fascinating to hear the stories of how all these formulas and equations and concepts and all the stuff was worked out over centuries. I mean, this goes way, way back. You know, it's kind of amazing how much they knew even back in ancient Greece or even Babylonian times. But anyway, there was one of them called John von Neumann. He's considered one of the greatest mathematicians of all time, a Hungarian-American polymath, polymathematician, whose work helped shape modern computing, game theory, and nuclear physics. So anyway, there's a pretty good quote attributed to him. I guess we don't know for sure he said this, but he ought to have. Goes something like this. Young man, in mathematics, you don't understand things. You just get used to them. I think we can all relate to that, those of us who have struggled in mathematics. But ponder on that. I'll see you guys next time.
declared dead?
Well, actually, it was Mr. Earl. He's taken the company public. He wanted to liquidate your majority shareholder. Those shares are worth quite a bit of money.
Well, it's a good thing I left everything to you then.
Quite so, sir. And you can borrow the rolls if you like. Just bring it back with a full tank.